Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And it's another Sunday, which means the Carolina
Another.
Panthers have lost another football game. 0-6, the Panthers moved to 42-21, loss to the Miami Dolphins. A game that started off promising for the Panthers, had a 14-0 lead in the first quarter, and offensively, that was all the points that were scored. Got a pick six in the fourth quarter off of Mike White, but otherwise the last three quarters offensively were pretty poor.
See,
Jerry, hold on. I'm gonna cue you up here, Jerry. I'm gonna cue you up.
I was gonna say,
Jerry and I kind of had a quick conversation before we started recording here. Jerry is a good bit more feeling, I guess, better about the Panthers after this game than I am. So, Jerry, I want to hear why you're so encouraged by what you saw in this 14-point offensive output
it's
from the
not
Panthers.
perfect, but I thought Bryce Young looked good. I thought he made quick decisions. He got the ball out correctly. He didn't throw errant passes. He looked poised under the duress. Chuba Hubbard starting in place of Miles Sanders, the way to go. Those first down runs up the middle that Sanders is getting 1.2 yards per carry. He was getting 4 yards. He averaged 4.5, which is he saw the openings and he gave a shorter field. This team looked a lot better. Their third down was 5 for 14. Not great, but it was moving the ball. That being said, there's still issues. Besides Adam Thielen, no one else looked halfway decent on the receivers, could get open. The O-line continues to struggle in pass protection. Icky got blown up a couple times. Taylor Moton got blown up. So it's not all roses, but I think there's something to hang your hat on. I think Miami is one of the best teams in the league. So I was expecting them to put up points, and honestly, I think our defense is being overrated by the Panther fans. They haven't been able to stop the run all year, and that continued. And we're also completely depleted in our secondary right now.
Yeah. I mean, Bryce didn't throw an interception today.
Yeah.
That's positive. Don't really think he was even close to throwing an interception. I thought he made good decisions, like you said. They made a point to simplify the offense this week. I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, they moved the ball some. Especially, it looked great in the first quarter.
Well,
but there's 4 quarters, and they look terrible, in my opinion. They didn't score. Yeah, they had a missed field goal. They should have at least had 17 points, I guess. But in the second half, I think they had less than 100 total yards. I mean, they just didn't. They couldn't do anything after halftime. Again, we see this team sort of not be able to make those adjustments. Bryce wasn't the problem today, but 5.7 yards per pass attempt is not great. It's still dinking and dunking. They took a couple of shots, but...
And he had DJ Shark on that one that he had in our second longer. He may have gotten the ball perfect. That was like a 40, 50 yard pass. Again, I am not saying, oh, yay, I'm happy. But after last week and the week before, I feel better about this team than I did. Like, I guess, again, I'm not super excited about losing by 21 points, but I saw some life. I guess maybe the fact that I knew Miami was going to win and I just was looking for some optimism in the first quarter kind of gave me that optimism. I mean, again, all things considered, the Panthers were somewhat in this game up until, mid-third? But
yeah, I mean, it was 21-14 at halftime.
I mean, again, 39 passes, 25 rushing yards.
Rushing attempts.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the balance was okay, I thought. They, in the second half, once they got down to 2 touchdowns, they started throwing the ball a lot more, which is fine. I mean, that's what's going to happen. But I don't know, man. I'm happy that you're more optimistic about it. I think there's going to be a lot of Panthers fans that look at this game and do not feel as depressed as maybe the last couple of weeks, especially coming in knowing how good the Dolphins are, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that this is not a game that the Panthers were likely to win. I feel like we didn't embarrass ourselves, which I guess is progress. But again, after that first quarter, they could do nothing offensively in terms of scoring the ball. And that's all that matters. You couldn't have 99-yard drives all day long. But if you can't score, then it doesn't matter. You're going to get beat. And that's what happened here. So I agree, though. Chuba should be starting. Chuba should be starting when Sanders comes back. The split should just go the opposite way. Chuba should get, 70% of the runs. Yeah. And Blackshear, he was fine. I would have liked to have seen Tariq Cohen. I guess he's just not ready yet. Laviska went out, unfortunately, with an injury. Not sure. They didn't really come back to it. I didn't see during the game in terms of what it was. So we'll have to see about that. But
I want to say I thought I read something or saw something what it was. I can't think off the top of my head. If you want to keep talking, I can try to look it up.
But again, it was the Thielen show. He had 13 targets. Nobody else had more than 6, and that was Shark, who had 3 catches for 26 yards. So, they're forcing the ball to Thielen. I don't know if he's the only guy that can get open. I don't know if he's the only guy that Bryce feels comfortable throwing the ball to. But he is being worked, and he's producing.
I was gonna say he is his safety valve. That is what I noticed. Bryce Young, I saw Mingo get open at the same time as Thielen a couple times, and he went straight to Thielen before glancing at Mingo. And he's probably his first read anyways, but it seems like if Thielen's open, he's going there. That's always going to be his first read, because neither of the other guys are really, drops after drops. Terrace Marshall had a big, drop late here for a first down. I think Mingo had another drop. They're not reliable receivers.
No, Terrace, got into the game after missing last week due to, I don't know, administrative errors or whatever it was. And three targets, no catches in this game. So he kind of back to being an afterthought. I thought Tommy Tremble looked interesting. He had a really nice catch. Hurdled a guy and then juked another guy. Had another nice play a little later on in the game. 2 catches for 25 yards, nothing to write home about, but way more productive than Ian Thomas.
And he took that second catch was only for 4 yards, but that was in traffic. I was shocked he came. One of those ones that if a receiver drops it, you're like, oh, that stinks, but you can kind of understand it.
It was a really good catch. Really good catch. That's the thing with him. He shows flashes. And again, you could say this probably about a lot of the guys on this team, right? They show flashes, but they're just not consistent. They just can't put it together. And outside of Thielen, that's kind of the way the whole team is right now.
Yeah.
Coaching Chuba
staff
Hubbard
included.
Yeah. Chuba Hubbard is your second most reliable guy on this offense.
Who would have thought that?
Right? That's a statement. That is a statement. Again, when we were up 14-0, Jerry, what did I say?
Oh, I know. I don't know what you said exactly, but I was already thinking the same thing. I was like, well, once Miami puts it together and kind of understands how to beat this defense, they're going to just run all over us, and that's what they did.
I said this is going to be a really tough 42-14 loss. And it was almost that. Real unfortunate, but we live on. The one good thing is that there is no Panthers game next weekend, so we get a chance to sort of reset. It's going to be interesting to see what changes they make over the bye week. I'm hoping play calling goes to Thomas Brown, right?
Yep.
I'm hoping. I'm assuming there will be a trade or two over the next 2 weeks before our next game. Likely the Panthers trading away pieces.
Jeremy
right?
Chin
Because
is, I think,
Jeremy
out
Chin's
the door.
rumored. Marshall is rumored. I saw another guy being rumored. Burns, there's kind of like whispers about Burns. So I don't know. I think this team's going to look different.
First for him, I mean, this whole organization's going to be a laughing stock. I mean, I hate saying it like that.
We already are. They're already a laughing stock when they turn down the 2 firsts. I mean, that's just I mean, it feels like almost everyone knew that was a very bad idea, but they did it, and now they're not signing him. Like the whole thing just doesn't make any sense.
Not signing him is where I have the problem. If you weren't gonna, you knew he was gonna ask for top tier money. You're now not ponying up after he did all the right things in the offseason for you. He did. Came in. I mean, he is the player he is. I would say one of the better pass rushers in the league. He's not the top tier guy. He's not the top 3 guys in the league.
Yeah, I don't think he's not worth $30 million a year in terms of his production. But you valued him at that when you turned down that trade.
Yes. And
to now not pay him and maybe take 60 cents on the dollar as to what you were offered before just is really malpractice.
Yep.
Like it's it's a fireable offense. I mean, if Fitter has already sort of made a lot of mistakes here that I think if he were let go, no one would be upset about it in terms of, maybe his family would, but everyone else is going to be like, sure, we get it. But that, if we do end up trading Burns for less than 2 firsts, then yeah, it's he should be fired. Maybe not immediately, but as soon as the season's over, he should be gone.
By the way, P.J. Walker just beat the San Francisco 49ers with Cleveland.
Hey, congrats, PJ. That was a weird game. Like I was listening to some people.
Sorry to interrupt.
People,
I just glanced out.
It's funny. I was listening to some people earlier this week. They were talking about that game. They're like, I just have this weird feeling that Cleveland's going to beat the 49ers.
It's probably good for the 49ers, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, Cleveland's got a really good defense.
But, okay, back to the Panthers.
By the way, PJ, 18 for 34, 192, 2 interceptions.
That is so... And pulling off a win. That is how PJ Walker wins.
Wow. All right. Back to the Panthers. All right. So, any other kind of thoughts before we jump into some of the stats and everything?
This run defense has to get it together. I know you love Evero. I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact that this defense has been okay, not great. Mm-hmm. And the run defense has honestly pretty bad. I mean, giving up 4.5, 5 yards per carry on most games.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt or it doesn't help when you've got, particularly like the last couple of weeks, teams go up big and then they can just kind of run the ball, right?
Well, at that point, you should be able to stop it, though, because it's coming. Just like that 3rd down and 10 at the 11-yard line in the 4th quarter. They're running the clock out, but they're still going to try to score.
Yeah,
you can't stop
you're right.
them.
You're right. I mean, they went up against Bijan week 1. I mean, Kamara was out week 2. Kenneth Walker week 3. The Vikings don't really have a great run offense. The Lions and the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like we've gone up against the best run games in the league, this year so far. But we do not look good as a run defense. And yeah, that's kind of the Achilles heel on this team. But it's been the same song and dance for the last several years with this team.
Yeah, and
the run defense is terrible.
And with that scheme, we knew it wasn't going to get better.
Yeah,
the Panthers
are going to the 3-4.
Going into this game, we're 26 against the run in the league.
Yeah, gave up 162 yards today on the run, so probably going to drop, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, not great. Pass rush didn't do anything today. I
Pass
don't
rush
think we
was
had any
abysmal.
sacks. No sacks
I mean,
today.
honestly, everything on the defense was really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, was there a shining star out there?
I thought Sam Franklin had a couple of nice
yes.
plays.
I did too. He seems like a
Um,
guy who really wants to be out there and play.
Yeah, I think I saw one play where he whiffed pretty badly, but he was hitting guys hard. Like he's fun to watch. So I liked him.
Shy Tuttle kept getting pass deflections, jumping up in the middle. Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate saying, I don't want to just say, "Oh, good job," because you got your hands up, but good job.
Hey, that's a thing, right? Any way we can stop, the momentum of the offense. Troy Hill had the pick six. Also had a bad whiff on a tackle, like a little screen out to the left side, and he just kind of went straight by the running back.
Tackling in general has been bad.
Tackling was bad. Tackling was bad today, and you're right, it's been bad overall. So yeah, Evero, maybe a little of the shine coming off of him, but you go up against the Dolphins, you're going to give up 40 points. I mean, that's just they score a lot of points, especially against bad teams.
I mean, you could see it on the way we schemed it. We were set back so far where Tyreek Hill was able to be 25 yards downfield, catch it with no one around him, but people were still further back than him. Just try to stop him.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't roll Horn out there. I was hoping that they would, but didn't get him out there.
The wheelchair Horn.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be back after the bye. No, there's not been any updates on him really. Mm-hmm. So
I think Corbett will be back, which is thankful.
Corbett should be back. Yep.
But I don't think you could bench Throckmorton. I mean, I felt like he's done so solid that you just.
I wonder if you move him
to left.
To left guard.
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
You certainly bench him for Corbett.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying you keep him in there, but I'm saying over Cade Mays, the left side.
I mean, yeah, he's played all right. Panthers gave up 4 sacks today, and it seemed like Bryce was under duress constantly.
Yeah.
Even some of the really nice throws that Bryce made, he just had somebody in his face.
That's
the
offensive
line overall is just bad.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Bryce looked good today, in my opinion. I do think Bryce should be able to run the ball a little bit more than he has. I feel like
it would be nice.
I feel like they're too scared of letting him run. I'm not saying go out there and quarterback power. I'm saying do a play action rollout. Let him use he's fast, guys. He's not slow. Like, let him run.
He's not that fast.
He's quick, fine. He's not going to be one of these top tier rushing quarterbacks, but I think you can also get some read option where he can get 4 or 5 yards downfield and get down, especially on some of these first downs where they know it's coming.
It would be nice to have that extra dimension to his game, and maybe that's something he'll add, but he doesn't look to run ever. Yeah. He doesn't look to run, so. All right, well, let's look at a few stats here. We talked about Bryce. He was 23 of 38, 217, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was sacked 4 times for 36 yards, and a couple of those were killers.
Right? And some of them were a couple of those were his fault, where he just
hung
on to the ball way too long.
Yep. And I don't know if he's gotten any negative feedback from the coaching staff about getting rid of the ball too much, and that's why he's holding on to it a little longer, because some of those early games he was ditching the ball quick.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if he's been talked to about that. I'm not sure. But on those, a couple of those, he should have just gotten rid of the ball. The fake punt. So Johnny Hecker also completed a pass. The fake punt, what'd you think about that? Did you like the call?
I get it. I don't like Laviska Shenault going to the sideline as much as he had so much room towards the middle that I thought he made the wrong decision. So
yeah, I liked it. I mean, why not?
You're going against Miami, who's going to put up points, and I get that.
And you're 0-5. I mean, I would have hoped Laviska would have just kind of tried to power through maybe, or
I did too, especially because
but
he's a bigger receiver type guy.
I guess that's where he got hurt though, because I don't know that he played another.
No,
play
he caught a pass and he got drilled on the sideline or thrown to the ground.
So it was just after that then.
Yeah.
All right. Chuba, 19 carries, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. As Jerry mentioned, 4.5 yards per carry. Thought he looked great, honestly. Yep. Did everything that you would ask for him. Every time he had the ball, he moved forward, and I like it. Blackshear, 5 for 18, and then Laviska, 1 for 2. Receiving-wise, Adam Thielen, once again, leads the team 11 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Going to be interesting to see where he is after this week in terms of, like, receptions in the league, because I think he's going to be up there. I don't know where he is right now, but I wouldn't surprise me if he's like top 10 in receptions or higher.
I am pleasantly surprised how good Adam Thielen is. I will 100% say that. I thought he was going to be a good number 2 type of guy, but I mean, I can't even argue what he's been doing as the number 1.
Yeah. Through 5 games, he was 4th. So add another 11 to that, and he's going to be up there. DJ Chark 3 for 26, Tommy Tremble 2 for 25, Mingo 2 for 21, Hayden Hurst 1 for 11, Laviska 3 for 15, and then Blackshear and Chuba had a couple of.
I do want to point this out. Adam Thielen had a long of 27. DJ Chark had a long of 24. I'm not going to count Tommy Tremble's 21 because that was downfield, but Mingo had 11. I do see them pushing the ball down a little bit more now. I do also think it happens more in the first part of the game, like that first quarter where it's scripted. So it kind of makes me really think that Frank Reich shouldn't be playing calls.
Yeah, like we said, it did look, the offense looked better. It looked more competent. But, after the first quarter, like you said, like they couldn't do anything. So in terms of scoring the ball, the red zone stuff they got to figure that out. I don't know. Defensively, CJ Henderson led the team in tackles with 9. Frankie Louvu also had 9. Louvu went out for a bit with an injury, but came back in. He also had a tackle for loss. I don't know. There's no sacks. Nothing really to write home about, other than Troy Hill's touchdown interception.
And Shai Tuttle's hands up. I mean,
yeah,
that's it. Where do you hang your hat on?
You give up 42 points, then your defense didn't have a good day.
No.
And those weren't short fields, except for the like the onside kick. Maybe the fake punt was kind of a shortish field, but there were no turnovers inside our own 20 or anything. So
I mean, no turnovers, period.
Yeah.
So
Eddie P broke his field goal streak. R.I.P. But he'll be back. He's fine. This just means that the next 9 games he's not going to miss anything.
Hopefully.
So that's good. That's what he does.
Don't jinx him.
Tua was 21 of 31, 262, 3 touchdowns. He's that system's perfect for him. They did a good job. They built a team around what Tua does best.
Yeah.
They gave him weapons. They gave him a good offensive line. A good running game. They talked about in the broadcast, but the coaching staff made an effort to have more balance this year with running and passing, and they've done a great job.
They're number 1 in passing and number 1 in rushing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Great balance.
They draft weapons. They trade for weapons. That's a well put together team with a really good coach who's hilarious. We didn't talk enough about him in our preview, but I love that guy. I'll just watch press conferences with him just for fun. He's really good. Raheem Mostert led the team in rushing, 17 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's good.
Yeah.
He came from San Francisco. He had a long of 49. He's a game breaker. Chris Brooks, 6 for 28. Salvin Ahmed, 6 for 23 and a touchdown. Receiving wise, Tyreek Hill, held Tyreek Hill to 6 catches. Unfortunately, he averaged 27 yards a catch, and he had 163 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 7 for 51 and a touchdown. Raheem Mostert also had a receiving touchdown. Hard to stop those guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Quickly we'll glance down here. Chubb had a sack, a tackle for loss on defense. Christian Wilkins had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. I mean, that interior defense can't protect Bryce. It still looks like that. One of those was Bozeman. So 9.
I mean,
QB
the offensive
hits.
line's just bad. The offensive line's bad. Ickey's looked bad. Bozeman's looked bad. Moton's looked fine. The guards have been just a revolving door. Throckmorton has looked okay, but I don't see there's no Larry Bird's not walking through that door, right? Like there's nobody that's going to come save the offensive line.
No,
Corbett's not going to make the big difference.
No, he's not going to make a huge difference. The biggest problem I see is that what they need to do is they need to start helping this O-line out. They need to start leaving some tight ends in to help block, leaving some running backs in to block that can actually block, because I think Miles Sanders had a blocking rate of 20.
I was going to say, Chuba's the best blocking running back by far. And he had a couple of nice ones today. I was watching him block, and he looks like he knows what he's doing. So, Matt Rule's wife really did a good thing there by having us draft him. All right. So, nothing really else to kind of talk about in terms of individual stats. Defensively, gave up too many third down conversions. Miami was 7 of 13. Panthers 5 of 14, and then 0 of 4 on fourth down conversions. So, just couldn't. And again, pretty much all that's in the third and fourth quarter. They just couldn't do anything. Penalties, I thought, was nice today. Only 3 penalties for both teams, so that was good to see. Yeah, time of possession pretty even.
I mean, I hate saying this. I just feel like we ran in. We if we played a decent, an average team, a team in our division, I think we could have won this game. It's just we can't.
I think we'd have been in it. Yeah, for sure.
I think we just went up against Miami, and Miami's a contender, a real contender in my eyes. So,
yeah.
I mean, what do you want from this team? Running the ball well, not turning the ball over. You want your defense to look a lot better, but I mean,
again, you're going up against the powerhouse.
Yeah. Ball possession the same way. Penalties were down. I mean,
yeah. Again, there are positives to take from this game. Anytime you get beat 42-21, you're looking for moral victories, and there are a couple. But the Panthers are 0-6, and that sucks.
That really does suck.
We don't have our first round pick, well documented. On the one hand, I do want them to go out and trade for some help, just so we're not giving Chicago the number 1 pick. On the other hand, I want them to understand where they are, maybe sell off, get assets, try to retool this thing, but then that tells us that next year that they're probably also going to suck, right? It's just a bad spot. Just a bad spot to be.
I did see one trade I really liked. It was from a Detroit Lions beat writer trading Jameson Williams and their first-round pick this year for Brian Birds. And I thought if Fitterer could get that, I think that's a win for him, and I think you do it. You say, hey, look, I got Bryce Young's favorite target from back in school who wasn't doing well in Detroit. He's kind of down the depth chart, young receiver. You get a first-round pick, so you're like, look, I got 2 first-round picks for him. And then you move on. I mean, I hate saying it like that, but the way it looks.
But yeah, I mean, that might be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
For what you could get for Burns, to turn him into at least saves a little face for Fitterer. But again, that's not been rumored. That's just a guy who said this would be a good trade. Right?
And oh my God, can you imagine Brian Burns and Aiden Hutchinson on that defense? Like, oh God,
that would definitely improve the Lions. I mean, they would be basically giving up nothing. Yeah, a late first-round pick. That's it, right?
And that defense, I mean, you're talking about lightning from Brian Burns. Aiden Hutchinson, we saw what he could do here. I mean,
yeah,
when we played him, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. Chin, like I said, Chin. I don't know what you get for him. Maybe a fourth. Mm-hmm. Right. Marshall, maybe a fifth, maybe a sixth.
But at what point is that even worth it? Can I ask that? Like, seriously.
No, I agree. I mean, I think I would rather keep both of those guys. Maybe not Terrace Marshall, because it seems like he's just not going to do anything here.
It's weird, though. When Mingo was out, he had a good game.
Yeah. Well, he had a lot of catches. Didn't do a lot with him. It's like 9 catches for 40 yards or something. I mean, a lot of short catches, but still, he was doing something. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fix is. I
mean, the fix is go back in time and do a lot of things different, but we can't do that, so.
True. So what is the fix?
The fix is just having to grit your teeth and bear it. Yeah.
Right?
Time. I mean, maybe that's why I am what I am. I'm just like, hey, hanging my hat on. Bryce Young looked today what I kind of was expecting him, where, he's not the big arm, great fancy fun throws all the time, but if you build a team around him, you could do a Tua-like run. Very conservative, good pocket presence, good throwing. It's just the team around him needs to get better. James Campen needs to work magic with this O-line right now. Icky looks bad. Yeah. So...
Icky, I don't know what happened to him.
I do.
I mean, he was just getting blown away. What happened to him?
He's not getting help. Last year, when he was playing his best football, we kept a tight end or a running back there almost every play to help him out, to either chip the guy or do a double team. Now that Frank Reich is spreading the offense out, more of a spread team, Icky's out there on an island, and Icky's not handling that pass rush.
Well, that's, devil's advocate. That's what you want. You want your first round pick, your number 6 overall pick, to be able to handle pass rushers one-on-one, like, at least most of the time.
I agree with that. Yeah. But with that being said, it doesn't look like he's doing it. So you need to, as a coach, you need to switch over and start maneuvering to a different thought, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, heroes and zeros?
Sure.
All right. You go ahead. Who's your hero?
I've got kind of 2 of them, so I want you to go first, and I'll take whoever you don't take.
Well, I'm going to go Chuba.
Yeah.
I think Chuba, like I said, kind of offensively, he's steady. He's a steady presence. He's a good blocker. And, again, he had a touchdown, so he accounted for half the offensive points. Yeah, I'm going to go Chuba.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bryce Young. Even though he didn't have outstanding stats, he looked good. He looked confident. He made smart throws. He didn't throw anything I felt like was really scary, stupid. So,
yeah.
And he had quite a few drops by receivers and tight ends. So
he had a few, for sure.
So his yards would have looked better. His percentage would have looked better. So
yeah, true. And shout out to Adam Thielen. I mean,
oh yeah, Adam Thielen is our new Christian McCaffrey right now, where you're just like, where you just tip your hat. You're like, yeah, you did you. I mean, we know you're good. You're probably the best offensive weapon we have. We know it, but we're trying to give
definitely
love
not ignoring you, Adam Thielen. You've been by far the best offensive player on this team. All right. What else?
NFC South games. I I know the Bucks are losing right now, 3-0 to
I
Detroit.
saw the Falcons lost
Woohoo!
24-16. And I think the Saints lost too. Yeah, the Saints lost 20-13. So Saints played Houston, who is our next opponent. Stroud threw his first interception, but also had 2 touchdowns today. So, yeah, that's not a pushover team either. They're 3-3.
I agree. I think when we get back from the bye, I'm hoping we retool some things, but our schedule gets easier. I say that, but Houston's not an easy team.
And every team looking at their schedule and seeing us is
Easy
saying automatic win.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, we're going to have to hope that through the bye week here that they figure some stuff out. I mean, they got 2 weeks to prepare for Houston. That should be enough, right? Houston, not a powerhouse, but again, as we said, they're not a pushover either. They're well coached, and they've got a couple of really young playmakers.
Frank Reich has to be starting worrying for his job.
Yeah.
In all honesty, 0-6, we could talk about it all we want, that he drafted the first quarterback. He may have not wanted him, whatever, all that is under the bridge. He's on the team. But 0-6, I mean...
Yeah, you got 11 games left. 11 games left. Even if you go 500, like even if you win, then you're looking at a 5-win season.
Yeah.
With all the expectations that came in here.
I think he has to win at least 3 or 4 to really keep his job. If he gets 1 or 2 and that's it, I think he's gone. But we have less than a minute left, so here we go. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
We'll be back at some point. We got to figure out some bye-week content. But until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.
It's going to be 80 for Brady recap. I'm telling you now.